And if it belongs to a mega company, you know how its connections run, just for interest's sake. And sun worship. Well, here's another one. Joanna Scott Southcross. She claimed to be the mother of Christ, 1750 to 1814. So this movement is being Christianized. Then there was 1852 to 1960. Russell predicted the millennial events. Jehovah's Witnesses, 33-degree Freemason. So here we have three Freemasons, founders of these religious systems in the world. Of course, Jehovah's Witnesses, what do they do to the deity of Christ? They remove him and they make him one of us, just plain Joe Soap. They remove Jesus as the Son of God, the living God, out of the doctrine. Not surprising, because he's a 33-degree Freemason. Well, let's go back to the modern media. Bikram with Shirley MacLaine, whom he met for the first time in 1965. So the entertainment media starts propagating this to the youth, and people like Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, and all of those were well in vogue over there. Maude Adams and all these people. Richard Gere talks about his Tibetan experiences. And then we have the modern channel JC Knight, one of the most prominent channels in the world today, and she speaks to another ascended master. All of these are one and the same. Satan masquerading as an angel of light, a beautiful glittering being who will come and give light to this world. So this master speaks to her, and her clientele includes, of course, Shirley MacLaine, Burt Reynolds, Clint Eastwood, Richard Chamberlain, the late Joan Hackett, Shelley Faber, Mike Farrell, Linda Evans. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And she channels this entity, and this entity takes possession of her, and she begins to talk like him and act like him and walk like him and carry on like him. Now let's have a look at her. There she is, a very beautiful blonde woman, JC Knight. And there is her center. It's called the Ramta, and you have the sexagesimal triangle, of course. What else? Center for Esoteric Studies, Liberating with Light. The light, the candle with the light, is the symbol of Lucifer, the torchbearer. Lucifer was the angel of the light bearer. So that's his other symbol. And who does she publish through? Well, none other than Horus Publishing Company, with the eye of Osiris up there. It's the ancient form of the occult religion, alive and well, and living publicly as the New Age movement, and more obtrusively as disguised Christianity in the world out there. Home, order, red line, ancient schools to life. Well, here she is, and she's going to tell us how this being appeared to her. Now, the sound is not very good, but she's basically saying, if you listen carefully, she says she was sitting there one day, and they went to pyramids and stuff like that, pyramid power, when this gorgeous, dazzling being of light appeared to her. And she asked him, "Who are you? You are so beautiful." And he says, "I am Ramta, the enlightened one." And then she says, "He was like glitter in light, the shining one." Lucifer is preparing for his ultimate deception on this planet. Let's have a look at this interview.
I encountered Ramtha in February 1977 in Tacoma, Washington. On a Sunday afternoon, he appeared after my husband and I had been spending a week making pyramids. This was during the time that pyramid power was the rage. We were hikers. The theory was that you put food under pyramids, it'll dehydrate it, and so on and so forth. So we built pyramids and did a lot of experiments and had them all over the kitchen. When Ramtha appeared as glittering light, like you would take a handful of glitter and drop it through a ray of sunlight. And what do? It's Sunday afternoon, it's not midnight. The only thing I could say is, "You're so beautiful, who are you?" And a big broad smile came across that beautiful face and said, "I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch." I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you over the ditch. I am Ramtha, the Enlighten
So I'm Ramta the Enlightened One, and I've come to help you out of the ditch. That's very interesting. This beautiful, dazzling being is appearing to millions. And there are numerous channels who either channel him in this form or in the Maitreya form or whatever form it is. Now, the next teaching that she will say over here is very interesting. She says the following. She says, you cannot follow the concept that there is only one Son of God, for it begs the question, then what are you? Because you are also sons of God, so you are also God. So it's exactly the same teaching. Let's look.
We cannot become near to God in giving our power away to a concept that there was only one Son of God, for it begs the question, then who are you?
All right, is that God language or devil language? It's devil language. Interesting that she also made this sign, which is a very prominent sign, which we will pick up on many interesting politicians in the future. Well, here's another way in which this concept of your power and your divinity is to be disseminated to the public. Breakthrough performance. These are seminars that are given to business people. This young man over here is walking through the fire. And it's a picture that he himself gave me. This is a young man that came to me. And he worked for one of the top government organizations in my country. When the changeover came from one form of government to another, these young black people had to be put into managerial positions very quickly, and the others had to be moved out, and they didn't have the right training or the experience and the time. So they brought in these New Age organizations, and they trained them to focus and to become self-confident in the power of their own divinity. And the course culminates with a fire walk to show that you are this divine entity who can control your organization. Of course, it's also part of Eastern religions. The objective of the firewalk was to confront their fears, use their beliefs to support, not limit them, access the most resourceful states at will, take the first step in creating success momentum, and achieve result through focus attention. This young man told me, you then look at someone under you and you look at him and you tell him what he must do, and he cannot do otherwise than obey you. It's a form of hypnosis that is being introduced. Well, this young man came into conflict with his religion, and he was terribly tormented thereafter. We said a number of prayers together, and I hope that he is fine today. Now, the educated world had to be reached by another source, and so you brought in the psychologists and the psychiatrists and all these high individuals. Helen Schuckman, and she wrote a book, A Course in Miracle, which is a channeled book. So this is not from human origin. She started hearing an inaudible voice which dictated messages to her, and this continued for 7 years. 3 startling months preceded the actual writing, and she says what happened there. The writing was not automatic. She took it down in a shorthand notebook. It could be interrupted at any time and later picked up. Made her uncomfortable in the beginning, but it was channeled. She asked, why me? Because you wish to know the true me, are willing to serve. And I was told that it was a free will planet. She had to let him into her life. But let's look what she teaches. Manual for teachers. Jesus Christ. Very interesting statement. There is no need for help to enter heaven, for you have never left. Devil language or God language? Well, which one is it? It's devil language. If they speak not according to the law and the testimony, there is no light in them. It starts with mantras, which is chanted information. People sit in a row, then they chant various mantras. I am not a body, I am free, I am still as God created me, blah, blah, blah. God's name reminds me that I am His son, not a slave to time, not